Welcome back, boot campers. It's week 2. How'd last week go? I hope it was awesome. We are going to start this week. We're still talking a little bit about reconditioning, but upping the ante a bit and working in some stamina. So we're first going to start with breathing because all good voicing starts with the breath. Same thing, breathing deeply, counting 12 clicks this week, and breathing out. Setting your intention for your practice. So here we go. Good, and as you do that, you really want to let the pelvic floor muscles just relax and let everything open so your diaphragm can expand and let your lungs expand and everything is working the way it should work, okay? Let's try that one more time. For your workout this week, you're doing it 5 times. We'll just do it 2 right now, okay? So breathing, really feeling all of those muscles relax. Here we go. Remember to put a little resistance when you breathe out. The semi-occluded really helps make our vocal folds come together. Right now they're not coming together because this is voiceless, but we want that little bit of resistance so that our muscles are activated as we're working through some of this active breathing for voicing. So we'll do that 5 times, and then we're going to move into another voiceless thing because remember we're warming up these muscles. This is part of stamina, right? So stamina is being able to make the end of a phrase. Stamina is being able to phrase things with the proper dynamics, with the proper inflection as we're singing. So all of these things start with breath management and start with making sure we can manage the muscles that we need without adding tension. So we're going to add another voiceless activity that helps us work quickly, where that last one helped us work slowly. So with this one, we're using triplets. So we're going to start with pa 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 pa, not pa 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 pa. You hear how my voice is turned on? We don't want that one. Pa, 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 pa. So you're going to do 1 measure of that, which is 4 pa pa pas, okay? So 1 measure 3 times, okay? So here we go. Right? I always like to end with a burst on the downbeat. I don't know why, I just do. So we did pa. Now we're going to add a breath in tempo. We're going to add ta after it. So it's going to sound like this. Cool? So then you're going to add K after that. So now we have 3 different measures, right? Or sorry, 3 sets of 3 measures, okay? So only 1 breath in between each set. Here we go. I forgot to breathe between the 2nd and 3rd set. Don't do that. Well, that was fun. Now let's put it all together. So you're going to do pa, ta, ka, and then you're going to do pa, tika, pa, tika, pa, tika, pa, tika. So not only is this a stamina exercise, it's also an exercise in coordination of our articulators. So the pa happens at the front of our mouth, the ta is in the middle, and the k is in the back. So we're also working to coordinate our articulators because coordination is also part of that stamina and management of breath. So here we go, breathe it out. And that's that. It's kind of just a fun little coordination exercise, and if you get a little tongue-tied, guess what? Nobody knows but you. Keep going and keep trying. So now we've done some voiceless stuff, so let's add some voice on top of it. Notice when I'm breathing fully, but I'm not tanking up. We don't want to tank up, or this concept that we think about when we're posting. We think about, oh, I have to tank up to get all of this air in my body, when really that just adds tension into our system, right? We just need to take the air that we need, and we need to manage that breath to make the phrase. That's part of stamina too. Stamina doesn't mean take in and hoard as much as you can, because by the end of the phrase, you're still pushing to get to the end of it, and that's not what we want. We want to have enough breath to make the end of the phrase. And if you can't make the full phrase that your director wants, then you find a place to sneak. Just don't tell us about it. All right, let's add some stemples in here. We did some stemples last week. Remember, this is the quietest sound that you can make on an ah, an oo, and an e. So in your vocal warm-up, in your home workout this week, you're going to do all three of those in increasing lengths of time. But I'm just going to demonstrate it shortly. You'll need a timer for this. I don't have one, but this is just a quick demonstration of what that will be. So that's your pitch. It has to be really quiet. And so I like to think about that as, even though my voice is coming in and out, it means my vocal folds are barely touching. They're not slamming together and pushing really hard against one another. This is an exercise that was actually developed by one of the leading voice researchers in speech pathology, and he's a really amazing guy. So there's a lot of research that supports doing exercises that don't push our vocal folds super hard together, but just let them barely touch and know where one another is. So you'll do that on E, and ah, and oo. And then you'll pick your favorite and do it once more. All right. So then we're going to move from some of those breathing exercises into a vocal function exercise. We learned about lip trills last week, and we started talking about those small increments and then moving into bigger increments. So this week we're going to start with this. So instead of last week we did this, we're going to do this on a lip trill. So it's do, so, do, ti, for those of you that like solfege in your life. So I like to use the piano that's nice and close to me because it keeps me honest in pitch. Pitch is also part of breath management, right? We don't want to have too much, we don't want to have too little. And so knowing where we are in the key helps us use enough breath support to stay there, right? Also, I like lip trilling when I'm talking about stamina and also when I'm talking about reconditioning because it's semi-occluded and you need consistent breath flow to make those lip trills happen. But if you can't do a lip trill, it's okay to use a V, a Z, Z, a tongue trill with voicing, or you can use a TH. It'll make your tongue buzz. Another one you can use is the rolled R. So you can do that same thing, right? It's not as easy. I like the lip trill better, but you get the idea. All right, and then so that's your down. Remember, we always go down because in America we resonate in our chest voice, so now we got to go up. This is adding some agility into it. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Change keys, okay? Here's my little YouTube star. So did you feel that? So we were moving and we were using good breath energy. Try not to I was just doing this. Try not to do that with your body because it's going to mess with your breath energy. But it is good to move as you're doing things, right? We don't want to stand here stiff like a statue because that adds muscle tension. So keep your body nice and relaxed and loose as you're doing these things. So you're going to do that each way about an octave. So down an octave, up an octave, or as close to it as you can go, okay? Then we'll move into doing some fricatives that are also making us feel good about our resonance, right? So let's start with fricatives are speech sounds where the air comes out and there's a lot of noise in it, or there's a lot of turbulence in it. And these are also semi-occluded. So here we go, fricatives. Again, one octave in each direction, and we're going to start with okay? Really try and use that V. And if you're not ready quite to do va, 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 voom, you can do V, 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 or and we're really trying to think about that V sound, that fricative V sound. And we're doing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, always on that fricative sound. You're starting on the 5th, so when you get to the bottom and you change keys, you have to find the 5th again, which makes this exercise a little bit more challenging. So we went down, now the opposite direction, we're going up. I'm going through this quickly, for the sake of YouTube, but you'll do more than just 3 repetitions. You'll probably go down, as close to an octave as you can, or even at least probably 6 or 7 key changes to make sure that you're getting into your lower range before switching into your upper range. Okay, so this time we're going to do this one. Okay, on Z, knee, Z, knee. Here we go. Z, knee, Z, knee, Z, knee, Z, knee, Z, knee, Z, knee, Z, knee. Z, knee, Z, knee, Z, knee, Z, knee, Z, knee, Z, knee, Z, knee. So now we're getting into this resonator, right? Knee, 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 knee. We just did va, 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 boom. And now we're getting into knee, 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 knee. So we're moving our sound around because we don't want it concentrated on our vocal folds. We want to take that burden up off of our vocal folds and use our resonators, okay? So that's part of this reconditioning, is remembering where our resonators are and how we can use them. So again, you'll do that Z knee repetition a couple times and then you'll move on. We used buzzing last week to infuse vocal energy, and that is reminiscent of that. And then we want to apply this stuff to music. How do we make our phrases go from short where they are to longer like we were 6 months ago? Well, we use our lip trills, or we use our phrase connection techniques. So I like to do this with rounds, and I have loved Jen Cook's rounds. Shout out to Jen Cook. One that she did with my chorus when she visited us was all music alone shall live. So it starts with all things shall perish. That's why I was confused. So it does this. Right? So you're just going to start that on a lip trill. And then sing it. So I like to lip trill and then sing so that I can use that semi-occluded. All things shall perish from under the sky. And then it gets higher, so then you go back to your lip trill. And then the next phrase. But I would just do one phrase at a time and then sing them. So it's okay, so we're just going to do that on a lip trill and then sing. And then you're going to put them together because I was breathing for one phrase and breathing for the next phrase. Now see if you can lip trill them together. I couldn't do it. It was too much. So then I might add it incrementally. So instead, after sky, I might go into the next music alone shall live, but on the lip trill. So you can see how you can just add bars at a time to stretch that vocal stamina to help you increase your range. Guess how, not range, but sorry, to increase your phrasing. Guess how else you can apply this? Not just to rounds, you can apply it to music. So whatever's your favorite ballad that you're working on, whatever's your favorite uptune that you're working on, whatever's your favorite chorus piece for virtual choir, pick that and apply it. And thanks for boot camping with us. We'll see you next week.